So here's the next part of our discussion. Yeah.
Are there any communities that you can go to for that you could take your son to? Like that where the moms get together and their children are all different backgrounds to make him feel a little more comfortable, because I know I do this. I go to my friend's house and when they've adopted and their child is a different race, and I'll sit down and talk to their child because their child has all these questions, and the parents are like, I don't even know how to answer these, Rach. Like, not adopted. They're looking at me and like, I'm not mixed. I'm not, have skin color that looks like you.
We actually, because we have an interesting story. We actually, when I decided on the adoption, it's such a long story and so many details, and I'm really struggling to only say what's important. So there is another person that helped me and guided me, another volunteer that she's British. So right now she's in the UK. She also we met at the same children's home, and she started before me an adoption process. And she's the one that guided me to start mine. So both of us, we achieved it. So even the other child that grew up with my son is in the UK right now. He's just in a different area. So we are in contact. We are always meeting. Both of them, they have similar life stories. So I think it's something great for him to grow up with.
Okay. There is interracial adoption here in the UK. You just need to look it up. Yeah. And it's an online thing, so you can have that access. Yes.
So Karina, I know. Oh, beg your pardon. So Karina, I know you just wanted some questions answered, so I don't want to bring the tone down in the room because I did not feel the trauma from this. However, my mother was forced to give me up on day 2, and I was adopted at month 9. It's a very long process, and during that time I hadn't been picked up, so my legs didn't work, and I found out only a couple of years ago that the first year after my adoption they had specialist OTs because my legs didn't work. Now, in a children's home or an orphanage, Rachel will have a view on this as well, that is its own traumatic experiences with, as a baby, adult comes, adult goes, you've got no concept of time. So this othering is something that I feel profoundly, even though I have no conscious memory of that time. And so I don't know, Rachel or Shirin or Zen, is there additional advice for Corinne given her specific situation? Shirin, go first.
I'm just trying to think how I would answer that question. So I think the most important thing that, I know that in Corinne's situation, her child's not going to experience that, because right from the beginning and how in those adoption areas they were bringing up, they were working with kids with slightly differently, maybe different ways of being. So he may never experience that othering in the way that you experience the othering. But I think that the most important thing that I would be thinking about is just to take those questions that come and just answer them as openly and as honestly as you can. And for you to really just, be aware for yourself where things are striking and resonating, and just, work with that so that you can help this beautiful soul that you've decided to look after and carry, in a sense, for the rest of their life as a mother and care for. So I think that, if you're already asking questions and you're already answering what's going on, and I think, they're not going to know until they start asking those questions and experiencing. And I think with children, certainly you've got to just answer the questions as they come along. Preempting them doesn't always work.
Well, it's like raising a teenager. You can't give them information, so they ask the question.
Come back for the next part of this discussion.